The Rainbow People.
In the beginning, the world was still and quiet. The ground seemed to be covered with rocks and stones. If you took a closer look, you could see they weren't stones, but tiny people who weren't moving at all. One day, a wind blew over the land, warming the people and filling them with life and love. As the wind blew, they began to move, speaking to each other and playing together. And they began to care about each other. As they explored their world, they found colored ribbons scattered all over the ground. They were very excited and ran about collecting the ribbons, tying them around one another and laughing at the bright colors. Some liked the blue ribbons best, some chose the red ones, and others green. Suddenly, another wind blew and making them shiver. It didn't feel like the warm wind, and they began to feel frightened. Looking at each other, they saw that they looked different with their different colored ribbons and stopped touching each other. The people with their ribbons all gathered together and ran into a corner. Those with blue ribbons ran into another corner. The greens ran to another corner and the yellows to another. They were huddled in four separate corners as far away from each other as they could possibly get. They'd forgot they all been friends. The other colors just seemed different and strange. Then, because they were afraid, they began to build walls to protect themselves and keep the others out. Before long, the red group found that they had plenty of water in their corner but nothing to eat. So they grew hungry. The blues had food to live on but no water, so they became thirsty. The greens had twigs for a fire but no shelter from the wind and rain. And the yellows had shelter but no firewood or anything to keep them warm.
They all began to feel more and more miserable and helpless. Suddenly, a stranger appeared and stood in the middle between them. He looked around in amazement at these people hiding behind the walls.
Come out there, buddy. What are you afraid of? Let's look each other. At first, everyone just peeped out nervously at him. Then, very slowly, they came out of their corners and stood around him in a circle. Now, why don't you just tell each other what you have to give and what you need to be given. Pray for to overcome fear, pursuing to human speed. We have plenty food. need water. They eat not plenty water, but nothing to eat. We need food. Have plenty of food for fire. Nowhere to shelter from the wind and rain. We need shelter, yellow. We've got shelter, but no fuel for the fire. We need warmth.
Go.
Why don't you put or have together and share? Then you can enough to eat and drink. And you all be warm, have shelter. Everything is like they are all been blessed before. I agree that we put to change us. Red, we have forgot the friendship because the ribbons. Yellow, we can also start over again. They began to talk to each other, and the warm feeling of love returned. They remembered they'd once been friends, and underneath the color ribbons, they were all the time. Let us knock down the walls. Red, yes. Let us live together like we did before. Yellow. These ribbons had caused our separation. Let's throw them away.
But I will surely miss the richness of these bright colors. Green. Why don't we just mix them and make a beautiful rainbow ribbon?
From now on, you will be called the Rainbow People. And that is how the people became known as the Rainbow People. And their rainbow ribbon became the symbol of peace.